Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and we are moving on with the Casey Anthony trial, and next up is Dr. Neal Haskell. Now, call me weird, but I found this really interesting. There's a lot of these testimonies that I found really interesting, to the point that I am about to order a book on decomposition because I am interested in the stages of decomposition and how quick it all happens. Really, it's just fascinating. Morbid, I know, but fascinating. And also this next witness, who is a professor of forensic science and biology and a private entomology consultant. So we're carrying on with the insect evidence. So he was asked to examine evidence from Orange County Sheriff's Office in August and September. It was involving the insect life that was found in the car. He was sent evidential insects, and he first wanted to see if they were forensically important to the case. There were samples of maggots, larvae and pupae. He asked Orange County if they had adult flies of the maggots or the pupae or anything, which they found in the trash bag that was in the car. 15 to 20 adult flies were found. He sent them to a specialist, and he was told that this species of fly would be found regularly in decomposition in human and animal. They are very, very common. He found a lot of the maggots on the paper towels, and they were attracted to a substance that was on the paper towel. Now we know what that was. He thought the substance was most likely decompositional fluid. They went to the next step and decided that it would be important to get this substance tested. It was sent to Dr. Arpad Vass, the quirky but great guy. He confirmed that it was a breakdown of fluids from decomposition, which is known as adipocere. He also found a leg of a blowfly, which they see a lot in forensic cases. I think we've either seen those in real life or seen them on TV in the programmes with bodies. The flies that he found in the trunk are not just specific to human decomposition. The flies are found in human and non-human decomp. According to his entomological information, it would suggest that the body would have been in the car for a certain amount of time and then moved. These insects would come in at different stages of decomposition, suggesting that a body had been there for a certain amount of time to allow for these insects to be attracted. So as one insect arrives for a certain part, it leaves, and then the next will come in. So, it goes on like that. He has had previous experience of decomposition in trunks. In his opinion, the source of the decompositional fluids that were in the trunk could not have been in the trunk for very long. His estimate, based on his calculations, would have been no longer than 3 to 5 days. Neal then made arrangements to come to Florida to inspect the vehicle himself. Before doing so, he was told of the news that Kaylee's remains had been found. So before he even got to Florida, he knew that it was Kaylee that had been found. When he got to Florida, he went to the scene and to the impound to look at the car. He also went to the ME's office. He collected entomological evidence from the scene and the ME's office, and he found a number of species that he would expect for a scene with remains. He found a few blowfly pupae, gnat-like flies, housefly relatives, and a black soldier fly. If the body had been initially dumped in the wooded area, there would have been way more evidence of blowfly activity. He can say that the body had been out there for many, many months, from, say, June, July, He believes, in his opinion, that skeletal remains were not placed there. It was a decomposing body somewhere in the region of blood stage of decomposition. Sorry. So the cross-examination. It was Dr. Vass that informed him of the case and the insect activity. Dr. Vass and Neal have known each other for 25 years. I think they've had dinner at each other's houses, so of course Byers has to attack this how close they are. Dr. Vass informed him that there was fruit fly activity, and Neal thought they could possibly be coffin flies. So Neal had sent the first samples he received. The samples he was first sent were from the trunk. That's what he'd said, when in fact they were from the trash inside the trunk. So, as tedious as that sounds, is tedious the right word? As picky as that sounds, things have to be said right. So if he got them from the trunk itself, then fine. But if he got them from the trash in the trunk, it's totally different. So the flies he received were tiny gnat-like flies that to anyone else look like fruit flies. These flies eat anything. They can be found in rotting seaweed, decomposing vegetable material, fungus, dead insects. You can find them just about anywhere. So now there's a little discrepancy throughout the trial over the word trash and garbage. So in this testimony, Neal uses garbage, whereas Baez keeps using trash. So one keeps correcting the other. So I looked up the definition. In America, garbage is used for waste from the kitchen, described as wet waste. So that would be food, basically. And trash is like things like paper and packaging, known as dry material. So Neal also examined the forensic vacuumings from the car. There were some, but not many, phorid flies, which is the gnat-like flies. This was sent to him in 2011, so almost 3 years later. In his opinion, they were in the trunk of the car and not the trash. So I don't understand how from 2008 this wasn't sent then. Why 3 years later? So part of Neal's job is to do a PMI, which is a post-mortem interval. This allows him to see insects to be able to decide how long a person has been deceased. If it had been given the entomological evidence on the 16th of July 2008, he would have been able to give a better range of when the item was put in the trunk. He wasn't contacted until September. Again, there seems to be little things that could have been done that may have made this state's case a bit stronger. The redirect, they start by differentiating between the difference of trash and garbage, which I've told you about. In this case, the distinction is important because these insects go to organic material. The majority of phorid flies were on the adipocere on the paper towels, and in his opinion, this was the source for the entomological activity. He thinks the towels were used to wipe the adipocere in the trunk, and the flies were transported into the trash bag. The adipocere, if you remember, is the decompositional fluid. So, things that could have been done earlier that could have made a difference. Frustrating, but it's already done. So right, I will be back with more in the next video. Bye for now.